Today we're gonna make a delicious spinach and ricotta mozzarella stuffed chicken breast. It's so easy, it's so good. Here are the ingredients. Let's get into it right now. Okay, I always like to go over all the ingredients in the beginning. Even though this one looks simple, it's still best to do this, get everything out. We have 4 chicken breasts. Say you buy like a big pack of chicken breasts, say you get them from Costco where they sell like 7 pounds of them. Select 4 of the larger ones because we're going to make a pocket in here and we're gonna slice it. But now if you mess up and you say like you don't get a good pocket, you could butterfly it. The way we're gonna make this stuffing, it's not gonna be too oozy. So you're going to be able to get it in there and it will, 80% of it will stay in there. And that's the point of it. For that stuffing, we have 5 ounces or roughly 1/3 of a pound of spinach. So it's frozen spinach. I thawed it and I squeezed the water out of it. So it doesn't look like a lot, but we don't need too much stuffing. We only have 4 chicken breasts here. In addition to that spinach, we have a 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. That's about 55, 60 grams. We have a 1/2 cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, about 45 grams. And then we have a 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese, which is probably more grams. Let's see, because it's very wet. And that's about 120 grams. I had to look at my paper. 2 cloves of garlic minced, 2 teaspoons of lemon zest, and then 2 tablespoons of basil, fresh basil, and 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. I get it from the store, this little plant. It's actually better than buying anything that's like, comes in a package. That stuff in the package is always horrible this time of year. We're in February, in case you're wondering. So everything's gonna go into that stuffing, and then after, we're gonna season it up with salt and pepper, and after we get it tasting perfect, then we're gonna mix the egg in. If we mix the egg in advance, then we won't be able to taste it. So that's kind of like the order of things. So then we'll stuff it. After we stuff it, we'll use 2 tablespoons of butter, a couple tablespoons of olive oil to sear the chicken, and we'll finish it in the oven. This recipe couldn't be simpler. Okay, so this is about 2 tablespoons of basil and 2 tablespoons of parsley. Everything has been rinsed, and you know, those little stems of parsley you can leave in, they're good, they have a lot of flavor. I normally remove the really thick stems because they actually don't have as much flavor and they are like a little bit more woody. So it's not really gonna make a difference in something like this, but it's just something I do. Push that off to the side there. And then here's this lemon. This is washed. We're gonna take 2 teaspoons worth of it. So how much is that going to be? I don't know. Probably about a 1/2 lemon. I recommend you know, go lighter here. Maybe you make it one time, you see how you like it, and you can always add more the second time around. The lemon zest is nice. It's nice and potent, but could be a little too much. It's better than using liquid here because we don't really wanna like wet this stuffing very much. All right, that's about 1/2 the lemon I did, and we have about that much. Okay, let's make the stuffing. So again, 1/3 of a cup of the spinach. That's our lemon zest. Could have probably used a little bit more. That's our 2 tablespoons of parsley and basil, 2 cloves of garlic minced. You can do that garlic with that same microplane I used for the lemon zest to get it like more evenly distributed. 1/2 cup grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. 1/2 cup of ricotta, 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella. See how dry this is right now? Which is good, so our stuffing won't slide around a lot. I'm gonna season with a little salt and pepper. I know it needs it, even with that cheese. If you're using pecorino, maybe not so much, okay, but we're not, we're using Parmesan. Perfect. You want it to be really flavorful, really, really flavorful. All right, we're gonna put an egg in, okay? What this egg is going to do is make it even more of a binder agent, which means it's gonna ooze less. It won't like move out of the chicken so much. So if you mess up your pocket here, which we're gonna do next when we make the chicken pockets, it's not gonna be that bad. This is the same thing you do in like any stuffing mixture that you make pretty much. If you're very proficient, like sharpening or honing, you're not even sharpening, and if your knife has been relatively sharp, you can steal it, okay? So you're gonna pull at the angle, whatever the bevel angle of your knife is. This knife, crappy knife, is gonna be about 18 degrees, maybe 20 degrees, okay? So that means you're gonna cut that in half, and then that's what you're gonna do it at, okay? If you can do it. But that's hard for most people. When you see chefs on TV, they're like, there's no way they're keeping that angle, okay? They're not, it's impossible. So the simple thing to do is just to get a little sharpener, okay? And this angle's constant now. As long as you pull this at a dead straight, okay? So that means like don't go like this when you're pulling it through here right now. Okay, they give a coarse one and they give a fine one. Okay, just take it straight through right here and it's gonna put a micro bevel on it that's gonna be super sharp. Okay, you only have to do 5 strokes. You don't even have to you do not use pressure, okay? Just make sure you're relatively straight. Okay, if you're off by a couple of degrees, it doesn't matter too much. Now your knife's gonna be really sharp, all right? It's just going to be, and it's gonna be way better than using a honing rod. Because a honing rod, you know, a lot of restaurant chefs are using it because they send the knives out every week, okay? To a sharpening service, which I know you don't do. These chicken breasts have been air chilled in the refrigerator overnight with nothing on. You could also, I should have just salted them the day before. It would have given them more flavor. The salt would have penetrated more. We want to cut a pocket in our chicken breasts that's going to hold all of our ingredients. Okay, so we're using our super sharp knife that we just sharpened now, and we're going to make a pocket. See this pocket that I'm cutting right here? So now just don't go all the way through in the beginning, and it's going to be harder to do towards the thin edge of your breast here. Okay. You know how nice that pocket is? Nice pocket. Okay, so it's about equal distance. You can like come in here, you could try to do a little bit more work, but you know, you got to be careful. You don't want to go all the way through. But the more you can get in there, the more your spinach and ricotta stuffing you'll be able to get in there, okay? We got 4 perfect pockets, all right? And I forgot to tell you, set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 400 degrees. So here's our chicken. Now listen, I probably should have shown you one that was screwed up, but see, I'm too good to screw up things, so that's why I didn't do it. If you do screw up and say like, instead of this, you cut it all the way down and you do a butterfly, it doesn't make a difference. We want to season this chicken up really well. Again, you could have done this overnight, okay? You could even cut your pockets overnight and do it. All right, and by the way, if your knife's not sharp, what I just did that looked super easy is going to be super hard for you, okay? It's not gonna work, so make sure you have a sharp knife. All right, I just have salt and pepper here. I just took them out of my salt and pepper box, so Tara doesn't give me looks, but she always gets mad when she thinks I cross-contaminate everything. Right, Tara?
That's right.
So there we go. Salt, pepper on one side, salt, pepper on the other side.
Are you gonna salt and pepper inside the pocket?
Yes, I am.
I knew it.
Yes, I am. That's how you make good food, okay? And this helps you now because, listen, if you dry brine these overnight, you don't even have to do that, okay? Because the salt's gonna penetrate completely, but a lot of people don't live like in a dry brine world where they like are gonna like prep this a day before for something so simple like this. Just get a little bit of salt in them. There we go. Look, I only used 2 teaspoons total of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt there, so it's not like it's a ton. Salt, pepper in there. This is the only seasoning that's going on here, so it's fine. Okay, so here is the stuffing. I have some toothpicks as well. Let's get in here. So I would just distribute it like evenly for now, and then you can come back. But the way I made this recipe, you're gonna have extra stuffing, which you always wanna like have a little bit more than not enough. You can save it and then stuff it like during the week in another chicken. Do the same recipe again, or you can get pork chops, which would be great with it too.
Stuff it in zucchini.
All right, I'm just gonna take a toothpick. One little toothpick here, okay? And just a little bit, kind of straight there, just so like when I sear it that they're not really touching the pan too much. That's good. Okay, you can just see the stuffing I told you is kind of thick, so it's not really gonna, nothing's really gonna happen here if you you don't even need to put a toothpick in here. I wrote in the recipe, I said you can use a string too if you want to be like doubly safe, but there's no reason for it.
Jim, does this remind you of, do you remember that place we used to get the stuffed chicken breasts?
Yes, it does remind me a lot of that place.
Rosario's?
Yeah. Yep.
On Pearl Street?
Yep.
They're not there anymore.
No, I know.
But they used to put it in marinara sauce.
Marinara sauce, yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? This is like, I'm kind of thinking this would be better with marinara sauce than not. You know what? Maybe we should just make a really quick marinara sauce.
Yeah.
So the way the recipe's written right now, we're gonna sear these in olive oil and butter, and you bake them in the oven. But you could do the same thing with sauce. So we'll make a really quick sauce. So I'm gonna turn the camera off and prep some sauce ingredients because you don't need to see me do that. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so look, that's all I have left. Okay, so barely anything. So this worked out perfectly. All right, so Tara convinced me to make a sauce. I'll make a really quick sauce. Sauce should always be quick when you're making a marinara, just a quick tomato. If you're gonna do like a Sunday sauce, that's a long thing, but you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't use that for a recipe like this. So I'm just gonna turn my pan up to medium. I have extra virgin olive oil here. This is Partano or Frantoia. I don't even know which one it is. One of them. I just fill it in these plastic containers, which is great. I'm gonna coat the bottom, okay? 4 or 5 tablespoons, roughly. And then here is onion, okay? That's like, I had like a little quarter onion in the fridge, so I just diced it.
You don't usually put onion in your marinara.
You know what, I'm gonna change it up now. I opened the fridge and I saw the onions, so
Yeah.
I said, let me do it.
Okay.
There's about 8 cloves of garlic that are sliced. And then here is a can of sclafani, okay? Great tomatoes, cheap, really good. So we're just gonna let this get soft and we'll add our garlic in. I cut these onions pretty small. It's been about 3 minutes. They're getting slightly translucent. So you can add the garlic in now too. Just trying to do everything as fast as I can here with this sauce. Calling an audible here. This is looking really good and it's smelling really good. I should have used more garlic. Why can I use more garlic? Because I'm the cook and you're the cook. If you want more garlic, you use more garlic, okay? Simple as that. Nice hot red pepper. A little anchovy would be good in here too. A couple anchovies dissolved. We're doing really simple right now, okay? We're not doing anything complicated. We're not going to the spice cabinet. Don't ever do that. You'll destroy your food. Tomatoes. Tiny bit of water in the bottom of the can. Okay? Always save the can and your lid, because then you put the lid back in the can and use a couple paper towels so nobody cuts themselves. All right, we're gonna bring this up to a lively simmer. Okay, so that's at a lively simmer. I don't wanna get super splashed. Let it cook like this for about 5 minutes at this simmer, and then we'll taste it and we're gonna season it. Simple as that. And then I'm gonna move it off to the side so I can sear those beautiful stuffed chicken breasts. Okay, so that's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna lower that. I'm actually gonna turn that off now so I can just season it. You can let it go a little bit more than this. It's gonna cook in the oven for about 20 minutes, so it's gonna evaporate a little bit more moisture. Let's season it up. Okay, whenever you cook with tomatoes, you're buying tomatoes, each brand has different sodium levels, so just give it a taste first before you put much salt in it. It's not like a universal sodium, like police, that says like every can, 28-ounce can has that same amount. Those tomatoes are delicious. Put a little bit of salt up. I'm gonna bring it over to the side to simmer. 12-inch stainless steel pan. I probably need something bigger here, but we're gonna try to make it work. Gonna heat this pan up to medium heat. Give it about 2 or 3 minutes so that nothing will stick. That means don't put anything in the pan now. Nothing, okay? No oil, no butter. So the pan's been heating up for a couple of minutes. We have our chicken right here ready to go. So I have some olive oil here. I'm just using regular olive oil. You can use extra virgin too. Use about 2 tablespoons. And then the butter as well. That's 2 tablespoons of butter. I put a little bit of water in the pan to make sure it was all right, like a tiny splash to see if I had the lead-in frost effect. And it's splashing well. All right, let's just lay the chicken down. And I'm trying to fit 4 pieces in here. I think we'll make it. There we go. Just try to make that they don't touch each other, but they are a little bit. They're gonna shrink in a second, and then we'll flip them. We should be all right. Ideally, use a larger pan, probably a 14-inch pan, or do 2 at a time, which is what I should have done. I'm impatient. Go about 3 minutes per side. We want to cook these until they get color per side, but they don't have to be cooked all the way through, because we're going to finish them in the oven. Okay, so those have been going for a couple minutes, not that long. If you heat up your pan properly, you're not going to get any sticking. See how beautiful that is, okay? You know, and we were able to make it with the room we had. Oh yeah, beauty, beauty, okay? And see, our stuffing is staying in there and everything. It's not oozing out like crazy because you did it right. You know, you drained your ricotta, you drained your spinach. Give it about 3 more minutes on that side. These are gonna be so good, especially with the sauce now. Like we made these the other night and they were great, but I think this is gonna make it better with sauce. So listen, right now it's been a few minutes. They can come out and they are looking beautiful. Okay, so I'm just taking them out temporarily to my cutting board. Right here, if you have too much at the bottom of your pan here, butter, chicken drippings, fat, you can get rid of it. This is fine. I mean, it's not gonna taste bad, so I'm gonna like leave it. We have our oven set to 400 degrees.
Could you deglaze that with some wine?
You know what? That's a good idea. Let's get some wine. Yep. Tara, you have all the good ideas today. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that butter and fat out of here. And we're gonna put a little bit of wine in there, just like half a cup.
Give a little plug to Palmer Vineyards.
Yes, Palmer Vineyards from
favorite.
Long Island, okay? Just get your head back. Okay, so then just take your wooden spoon, scrape that up. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be better. Okay, just turn that up to high. Let it just boil out for like 30 seconds. I love like just changing things up. I mean, I want to encourage you to do that too. Like, don't get stuck on like thinking you have to be a recipe follower. Okay, you don't have to like be 100%, especially once you learn like what you're doing. I'm lowering that now. In fact, I'm just going to turn it off. It doesn't even matter. Okay, let's get some of that sauce in there. You know what? Actually, I'm going to cook it out a little bit. I got to evaporate that wine. It's going to be too much liquid. Okay, just going to evaporate it for a second. See that? Turn it off. You could spoon a little bit of the sauce on top, but I don't think you need to. Maybe a little bit.
What about putting a little shredded mozzarella?
You read my mind because I still have some.
We really changed the recipe up for this.
You know what? It's still the same recipe. It's showing people that they can do this stuff very easily.
Yeah.
Okay? Get this in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until the chicken registers 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle. You're doing a chicken breast in liquid. It's not going to be that critical if you overcook it a little bit, okay? So it's more forgiving here when it's in the sauce. If you're gonna just follow the original recipe where there's no sauce or anything, I would pull it at 160 degrees, okay? Be back soon. This looks so good. There might be a lot more of Tara, I think, in the coming year too, because James with all his sports and everything like that, it's always very difficult to get him to be here when we're done. I think I could have stuffed it a little bit more. I'm looking at that side angle now.
Well, the stuffing is delicious. It reminds me of the stuffing for like stuffed shells.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that kind of like...
Yeah, I put lemon in it too. I don't
Exactly
normally
what it
put lemon in the stuffed shells.
Yeah, it's delicious. I think it's well seasoned. I really love the filling. It almost tastes like a healthy version of a stuffed shell. I think if you're like kind of craving that type of creamy, like ricotta, spinach consistency, but you don't necessarily want to have the pasta that goes along with stuffed shells, and you want to incorporate more protein into your diet, I think this is a winner. It tastes healthy, which for some people might be really good. Some people might be like, oh, it tastes a little too healthy for me.
That Rosario's one didn't taste healthy though. I used to eat that all the time. I used to get it for lunch.
I think there was like butter in it or something.
Yeah, it was like very salty. It was delicious.
Yeah.
And I don't think they stuffed it that way. I think they rolled it.
They might have rolled it, but honestly, I think this is really, really delicious. I always have my gold standard as beef bourguignon because that is my all-time favorite thing that you've made. So for me, whenever I'm rating something, I kind of use that as my yardstick. So that would be a 10. This I would give an 8.
Okay. I will take it.
I think the sauce is delicious. And I think, like I said, I think the filling is delicious, and I think it tastes really healthy. I think it's something that's really good, like if you want to eat a whole chicken breast in a really delicious way.
Yeah, it's a chicken breast. I mean, honestly, if there was a way to stuff a chicken thigh, it probably would be a lot better.
Yeah, no, but I mean, this is really good. I mean, I could even see taking this, like making this for dinner and then taking a whole breast for lunch the next day.
Yeah.
You know.
So on the side, it's without the sauce. I do recommend you. Do you recommend you use the sauce too, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's good. It was good last time too. It's good either way.
Yeah,
you
just want to cook it to like 160, and then take it out. No matter, this one took like 13 or 14 minutes. Anything that could have made it better.
honestly, like I'm trying to think like
Probably bread it.
I was
going
gonna
to
say if you breaded the chicken
Yeah.
and made it more like a stuffed chicken,
like a cordon
cutlet,
bleu almost,
maybe.
Yeah.
But again, then you're losing like that healthy aspect of it. So it really, I guess, depends on what the person who's making it is looking for.
Yeah, that reminds me of chicken cordon bleu if you were to do that. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that recipe.
Like
at
this
some
is like
point.
this is a low carb dish.
Yes.
You know, so
it's almost like a keto.
Yeah,
it is.
Or like I could see this being part of like a meal prep thing or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you make it, and we'll see you next time.